Hello and welcome to our webinar, Must Add Middle Grade. I'm Julia Smith, Books for Youth Senior Editor at Booklist. Before we begin, I'd like to go over some technical details. Today's slide presentation and title list were included in the reminder email you received from Zoom 1 hour ago. To download them, please open that email, scroll to the bottom, and click on the links located there. You can also download the slides and title list by copying the URLs on this screen into your web browser. If you have any trouble, please contact us at webinars@booklistonline.com. The audience is in listen-only mode, but we welcome any questions you may have. On the bottom of your screen is a toolbar with a section for Q&A. If you have a question or need technical assistance, simply click Q&A and type your message into the box that appears. We will do our best to respond to all tech-related questions, and we'll pass along all other questions to today's panelists so they can follow up with you after the webinar. Booklist offers closed captioning on all webinars. To enable or disable them on your screen, please look for and click the Show Captions icon on the toolbar mentioned earlier. If you choose to enable subtitles, you can adjust the size of them at any time by selecting Caption Settings. And finally, Booklist expects all participants to maintain an atmosphere of respect and fairness. Anyone who violates this standard of behavior, including engaging in any form of harassment, may, at the discretion of the organizers, be immediately removed. Today, we have the pleasure of hearing from Maddie Hughes, School and Library Marketing Manager at Disney Publishing, Colette Perry, Marketing Design Associate at Charlesbridge Publishing, Sam Devoda, Marketing and Sales Manager at Tundra Books, Serena Mercier, Senior Publicist at Tundra Books, Jeffrey Lapid, Associate Sales Manager at Papercutz, Ellen Myrick, President of Publisher Spotlight, and Meg Grehan, author of author of The Brightest Star. We will begin with Maddie Hughes. Maddie is the School and Library Marketing Manager at Disney Publishing, where she has been part of the team since 2018. She is thrilled to be able to talk about children's books of all kinds as part of her job. Originally from Denver, Colorado, Maddie is now based in LA, where she loves to hike, knit, and of course, visit her local library. Thank you for joining us today, Maddie.
Thanks, Julia. Hi, everyone. It's so good to be here today. I'm excited to present a selection of upcoming middle grade titles from Disney Publishing. Next slide. First up, we have Dex Dingo, World's Best Greatest Ever. After a school assignment challenges Dex to be whatever he wants, Dex decides he wants to be the world's best greatest ever at something. Filled with clever humor and touching insight, this chapter of a graphic novel series by author-illustrator Greg Foley follows Dex's misadventures as his attempts at the coolest jobs go awry. In book one, Dex's attempts to become the world's best, greatest ever inventor leads to an army of rogue nanobots attempting to destroy everything in their path. In book two, Dex has put that debacle behind him, with his sight now set on becoming an archaeologist. He's going to need to solve the biggest mystery and the coolest discovery ever. But to do so, he'll have to avoid the wrath of an angry mummy. What could go wrong? Next slide. Daybreaker is the first book in a middle grade graphic novel series by award-winning Filipino artist Tori Tatiar. Inspired by the folklore of the Philippines, this book is perfect for readers of Amulet and Percy Jackson. Though Mika Marisol's boarding school classmates tease her for clinging to the stories of legendary beings her Lola raised her on, she can't help but love them. Those myths are all she has left of her guardian. That is, until a year after Lola's death, when a moth speaks to Mika in the old woman's voice. Mika experiences a burst of inexplicable power, and in her panic, she accidentally casts a spell and binds herself to two eavesdropping classmates. Literally stuck together, Mika, Holly, and Teo grudgingly set out to find a countercurse in ancient Filipino beliefs. But the more they learn, the more it seems that Lola's tales were all true, and that Mika is destined to play a role in them. Next slide. The mythology of the Philippine Islands comes to life in this funny, warm, and enchanting graphic novel about making friends, learning to let go, and finding your place in the world. Next slide. The Court of the Dead, good news. The much anticipated second book in the Nico D'Angelo spin-off series from the Percy Jackson and the Olympian series by Rick Riordan and Mark Oshiro will be out September 23rd. In the sequel to The Sun and the Star, Nico and his boyfriend Will Solis travel to Camp Jupiter to help Nico's half-sister Hazel out with a problem they inadvertently caused on their trip to Tartarus. Some monsters realize now that they don't have to be evil and have come to Camp Jupiter to seek refuge in a new life. Unfortunately, not everyone believes they should have the chance, and when some of these reformed monsters start disappearing, it's up to Nico, Will, and Hazel to solve the mystery. I know a lot of fans will be really excited about this one. Next slide. We're All Gonna Dinosaur. Terry the pterodactyl has lots of nightmares, and they always come true. Can Terry face his fear of flying? If not, we're all gonna dinosaur. Last night, Terry dreamed that dinosaurs will go extinct. Terry's parents tell him that there's no danger a pterodactyl can't fly away from, but Terry doesn't know how to fly. With exciting black and white illustrations on every page, this subversively hilarious graphic novel chapter book series by author-illustrator Con Tan is perfect for young fans of The Bad Guys, Dogman, and Captain Underpants. And the first book is out now, and the second book is coming out in October. Next slide. Jax Freeman and the Tournament of Spirits. In this sequel to Jax Freeman and the Phantom Shriek by bestselling author Kwame Ambalia, Jax Freeman, who recently learned that he is a summoner, someone who can call on the magical powers of his ancestors to help him do amazing things, is now being thrust into a competition called the Tournament of Spirits, where he'll have to face the most skilled summoners from around the world. But while everyone is focused on winning, Jax is given a special side quest by the elders of the four magical families. He has to spy on each of the competitors, including his own teammates, in order to uncover who is releasing endangered and very dangerous cryptids into the arena. Can Jax take the top spot in the tournament and save himself and his friends from a mysterious foe? Next slide. Pet Shop Racers by C.S. Jennings. This is a new action-packed, hilarious graphic novel series perfect for early and reluctant readers, ages 5 to 9. So a little younger than middle grade, but still getting that graphic novel audience. In the first book, Hamster Ham and Ferret Shelby meet in the pet shop and become fast friends, literally. At night, the pet shop turns into a giant racetrack where all the animals get to compete to see who's the fastest racer. But only one can be the best, and Ham is determined to cross the finish line first every time. When disaster strikes, Ham will have to learn that some things, like friendship, are even more important than winning. And in book 2, the friendship faces a new struggle when Ham's long-lost sister comes to town. Next slide. These books are really funny, and this just gives a sample of the really adorable artwork. Next slide. Pet Placement Society. 12-year-old Mia is having a hard time. Her parents are arguing about overcrowding at the animal shelter they own. Her best friend Lily is suddenly no longer interested in the things they used to do together, and it's been impossible for her classmates to agree on a topic for their big group project. But maybe Mia can find one solution to all her problems, starting with her parents' shelter. If she can find the perfect homes for the animals there, Mia can help her family, bring her school group together, and maybe even reconnect with Lily. With some luck and hard work, anything is possible. Thus begins the Pet Placement Society. This is the first book in a new graphic novel series, perfect for animal lovers and fans of the Babysitter's Club graphic novels. This one's written and illustrated by Primo Gallinosa in his graphic novel debut. Next slide. Storm Dragon's Sky Shattered. With incredible world building, a fast paced narrative, and both adorable and terrifying dragons, this third and final book in the epic middle grade fantasy series by New York Times bestselling author Julie Kagawa is sure to be a hit with fans of Wings of Fire and other dragon adventure stories. In this final book, Remy, Jem, and Storm must race against time as their quest to save the world is once again complicated by the reveal of the most infamous and evil true dragon believed to have been destroyed long ago, Mal. We've gotten a lot of really good feedback on this series from readers, so we're excited about this third book and think people will be happy with the finale. Next slide. Rihanna Johnson's Giant Leap. From Jill 2, author of Kaya Morgan's Crowning Achievement, comes another heartfelt middle grade novel about a STEM-loving Black girl finding her place in the universe again after some big changes knock her out of orbit. Rihanna Johnson always thought that turning 13 would mean being old enough to stay home alone, go on her first date, and attend Galaxy Camp, a sleepaway camp that's all about her true passion, space exploration. But when she learns that her parents are on the verge of a divorce, Ray quickly learns there's more to growing up than one thinks. Instead of having a blast on flight simulators and multi-axis trainers and learning of what it takes to explore the stars, Ray's mind is stuck on Earth, wondering why her parents are keeping their divorce a secret from her. And even worse, puberty throws her the ultimate curveball. She has her first period, and her friends and counselors won't take her pain seriously. Will Ray ever feel grounded again, or is the rest of her life destined to be as nebulous as the Milky Way? Next slide. Griffin Speaker. As an orphan on the lowest rung of society, 12-year-old Rain is destined for a future of hard labor until she meets a wild griffin and bonds with him. An old law says the bond entitles Rain to an education at the elite Griffin Riders Academy instead of a life in the mines. But Rain's rise threatens to topple Griffinland's fragile hierarchy, and those at the top are determined to see her fail. So they task Rain with proving herself. Armed with just her wit and accompanied by her best friend and an unlikely ally, Rain must scale the highest peak in Griffinland and defeat the monster at its summit. Rain's success could change the world, but with an impossible quest ahead, will she and her griffin even survive? In the vein of such middle grade classics as The Giver, with sort of a not just fully dystopian society, but a little bit of a societal issues element, and new favorites like Impossible Creatures, this is a warm-hearted adventure story with a hopeful tale of resistance in an unequal world. This book is written by debut author Jan M. Flynn and also contains black and white illustrations by Matt Rockefeller. Next slide. And finally, just a brief reminder that the second season of the Percy Jackson and the Olympian series on Disney Plus releases on December 10th, 2025. This season follows book 2, The Sea of Monsters, so we do have a TV tie-in edition, but also all the other editions are available. We're really excited about this one, so hopefully people have a chance, if they haven't already, to read the book before they watch the show. Next slide. That's everything from me. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. My email's on this slide. And also, we have many of the titles I mentioned today as e-galleys on NetGalley. So definitely put in requests there if you're interested. Okay, thank you all so much for listening.
Thank you so much, Maddie. And now we'll hear from Colette Perry. Colette has worked in marketing at Charlesbridge for 7 years. She was born and raised in Portland, Oregon, and holds a BA in Communications and Music from Simmons University. She lives in the Boston area. Take it away, Colette.
Thanks, Julia, and good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. We'll get started with middle grade fiction from Charlesbridge, segue into our Charlesbridge Moves imprint for reluctant readers, and cap it off with some exciting middle grade nonfiction and a look at what's coming ahead in 2026. Let's get started with one of the titles I am most excited about this year, The Golden Necklace by Mitali Perkins with illustrations by Maithili Joshi. 12-year-old Sona and 18-year-old Tara are unlikely friends. Sona is from a Nepali family, and her mother works picking tea on the plantation in Darjeeling that Tara's Bengali family owns. Still, the girls reach across their cultural differences to find common ground. When Tara's uncle arranges a marriage that she doesn't want in order to get his hands on her inheritance, Sona yearns for a way to help her friend. And when Tara's inheritance goes missing and suspicion falls on Sona's brother Samiran, the stakes get even higher. Sona has to use all her wits to navigate the complex politics of the tea plantation and save her brother and her friend while pursuing her own dream. Let's hear a bit from Mitali Perkins.
I'm very happy to be back with Charlesbridge with my next book, The Golden Necklace, which is a mystery set in the Darjeeling tea estates in my home state, my birthplace of West Bengal, India. I love politics. I studied it in college, and I'm very interested in international settings where there are minority language groups. And I always think about the hands that pick the tea because I love tea. So that's one of the reasons I said it there now. Another one is because girls' education is so crucial to me, and especially in South Asia, as you know, I was the third girl born in Calcutta. Everybody cried when I was born. They're like another girl. So I think the idea of girls and education, the power of education in that area and economic power is always a personal thing for me. So that's what the story's about. It's coming out in October, and I'm really excited about it.
Mitali Perkins is a National Book Award nominee and a true master of middle grade, and she really knocks it out of the park again with this nuanced and fast-paced chapter book. The stakes are high, with Tara's self-determination, Samaran's freedom, and Sona's economic survival on the line, but the fear factor in this mystery is low. Sona solves her problems through keen observation and by reaching out to build connections across cultural divides. Themes of workers' rights, climate change and water scarcity, and the impact of tourism all play a role in The Golden Necklace, coming October 7th. And a new paperback edition of the award-winning novel and verse Mascot is also coming this fall. We are so thrilled to have this contemporary classic by Charles Waters and Tracy Sorrell in a new format. An 8th grade honors English assignment brings 6 kids from different backgrounds to grips with their beliefs about their school's native-themed mascot. It even inspires some of them to push for change, only to find that the divide runs deep in their town, and this fight could take them places they never imagined. Charles Waters and Tracy Sorrell write with grace, nuance, and clarity about this topic, which is more timely than ever in a country increasingly divided on matters of racial justice. This book has been recognized for excellence as an honor book by the Charlotte Huck Award and the American Indian Library Association Youth Literature Award. The paperback edition of Mascot is available September 2nd. Next, we've got our Charlesbridge Moves titles. Charlesbridge Moves excites middle grade and chapter book readers with adventure of all kinds, sparking a curiosity to read more. Whether through traditional prose, verse, or graphic novel elements, our stories grow and sustain an appetite for reading over the long term, especially with boys and reluctant readers. Each Charlesbridge Moves title comes with a dust jacket that converts to a poster, as well as a dedicated webpage where readers can find extra activities that really make that reading experience special. Make a splash for adventure-ready readers with Monsters of Fife, Sea Dragons by the legendary Jane Yolen, with hybrid graphic novel pages illustrated by Celia Lowenthal. The year is 1890, and the world is changing. Fantastical monsters long thought extinct in Scotland are returning to the countryside. The Queen has established a society of monster hunters, the royal and ancient, to protect the people. And Kat Douglas is the first girl in history to join up. Her job? Bait. As Kat and her monster hunting team defend their town, the team realizes there's more to their newest member than meets the eye, and she may be exactly the hero Fife needs. Let's hear a word from Jane Yolen herself about this story.
I'm Jane Yolen, and this is a new book, actually a series that I wrote called Monsters of Fife. And book 1 is called Sea Dragons of Fife. Fife is an area in Scotland, and this takes place in Scotland in the 1900s. My favorite part is when Kat, who had never been the one that everyone looked up to, does all those things. Because she can, because she's not afraid, because she has friends that she has to save. She does it because she has to. I think any middle grader will find monsters cool, and girls especially battling monsters even cooler. That they are able to do this because they are not super brave, but because this is their people that they are taking care of.
Monsters of Fife, Sea Dragons is great fun from start to finish. Kids fight monsters in thrilling but not graphic combat scenes. Folklore and Scottish history are wound together to create a fascinating world, and the story is grounded in meaningful messages about grief, especially relating to the loss of Kat's father some years before, while ending on a warm and uplifting note. This book is on sale now. And coming soon from Charlesbridge Moves, Limelight, Curtain Up on Poetry Comics by Renee M. Latulippe, illustrated by Chuck Gonzalez, will surprise and delight readers. It's a poetry collection. It's a graphic novel. It's a theater production. No, wait, it's all three of those things. From auditions to curtain call, follow a troupe of fearless young thespians as they put on a decades-themed musical extravaganza. Each poem is narrated by a different person or part of the theater and represents a different poetic form. The script, the rehearsal piano, the dressing room mirror, and the seats in the house all have their say. And then these poems are brought to life in vivid graphic novel form, exploring all the possibilities of imagery and sequential design to make for a one-of-a-kind reading experience. Perfect for graphic novel fans and for kids making their stage debut, Limelight is on sale October 28th. Let's return to Charlesbridge for nonfiction middle grade. 3 Weeks in the Rainforest, A Rapid Inventory in the Amazon by Jennifer Swanson. Next slide, please. Ride along with a team of scientists as they study the Amazon rainforest of Colombia. On this whirlwind trip, they only have 3 weeks to learn as much as they can. The biologists count everything that swims, crawls, flies, or grows, taking thousands of samples to ship back to the Field Museum in Chicago. Meanwhile, the social scientists talk to local farmers and indigenous villagers to understand how the humans fit into this one-of-a-kind ecosystem. This incredible international team is made up of scientists from the Field Museum and from local institutions in Colombia, indigenous partners, and many others who bring their unique skills and strengths to the project. Once they've learned all they can, the team presents their findings to governments and nonprofits to make an evidence-based proposal that will protect the rainforest and support its people for generations to come. This gorgeously photo-illustrated adventure is perfect for animal lovers and kids who can't get enough of science. 3 Weeks in the Rainforest is on sale October 14th. Let's look ahead to spring 2026. We have an exciting new series coming from Heidi E.Y. Stempel, The Avian Adventurers, a chapter book series following a club of preteen birders as they help and protect the amazing animals they encounter. Each book focuses on a new species facing a different conservation challenge. In The Snowy Owl Rescue, soccer star Michael and non-binary bird nerd Jet work together to save a snowy owl suffering from rodenticide poisoning. Stay tuned for more avian adventures to come. Next up, a scientist figured out as early as 1856 that rising carbon dioxide levels would increase the temperature of the atmosphere and affect our planet's climate. The greenhouse effect. 1856. But that wasn't the only remarkable thing about this discovery. This discovery was made by Eunice Newton Foote, the first known American woman to publish a physics paper. Nobody wanted to hear that greenhouse gases might change everything, especially not from a woman who consorted with suffragists. It was the dawn of the industrial age. Progress mattered more than the warnings of science. Born at a turning point in history, Eunice blazed a trail for independence and inquiry from the Seneca Falls Convention to the halls of the U.S. Patent Office. 170 years of greenhouse gases later, as we begin to face the consequences of inaction, her discoveries feel more timely than ever. Footprint by Lindsay H. Metcalf is a captivating novel in verse that gives Eunice the credit she is long overdue as a woman in STEM. This book will delight and inspire kids who love our planet and want to make a difference. Footprint is on sale February 10th. And for more climate-forward reading, we are delighted to bring you Onward, 16 climate fiction short stories to inspire hope, edited by Nora Shalloway Carpenter. This dazzling collection strings together past, present, and future across a wide range of genres, from personal essays to science fiction and verse. Kids and teens will laugh and cry along as they meet Shada, Hannah, William, and a host of compelling characters navigating their changing world and fighting for their future. Friends, when I read the list of authors in this anthology, my jaw dropped. Erin Entrada Kelly, Rin Chupeko, Padma Venkatraman, Gloria Munoz, and it doesn't even stop there. Star-studded does not begin to cover it. These authors represent a huge range of lived experiences and voices that will reach kids wherever they're at. These stories are designed to break through overwhelm. Studies show high rates of climate anxiety and despair in young people around the world. It's also common for kids to feel betrayed as governments drag their feet. But we know that the best cure for despair is action. Each story is paired with key resources that will help kids learn more and stand up for their planet. There's also a section focused on tools to support mental health. Onward is the read for the kid in your life who is grappling with the magnitude of the climate crisis and all the feelings that accompany it. This book is on sale February 24th. Thank you so much for listening. If you have any questions, feel free to reach me at cperry@charlesbridge.com. Bonus videos, downloadables, and more are available at charlesbridge.com/mgwebinar. Have a great day.
Thank you so much, Colette. Next, we'll hear from Sam Devoda and Serena Mercier from Tundra Books. Sam is the marketing and sales manager, school and library at Penguin Random House Canada. Since 2017, she has worked in both marketing and publicity for young readers' titles at PRHC and is now exploring the world of library sales, connecting with librarians and wholesalers across Canada, as well as at trade shows in the US, unless she's traveling for a concert. Serena is the senior publicist for young readers at PRHC, Tundra Books. She graduated from York University with a BA in communications and has been working in the publishing industry for 4 years. When she's not reading, she's rewatching Lord of the Rings with her daughter, Evelyn. Take it away, Sam and Serena.
Hi, everyone. This is Sam speaking. Thanks so much for tuning into this webinar. I'm going to pass it to my wonderful colleague, Serena, to get us started with the next slide.
Hi, everyone. My name is Serena, and I'm new to Tundra's publicity team, and I'm really excited to be sharing this great list with you today. So the first title on our list is the first book in the Mizzy Mystery series called A Skeleton in the Closet. 12-year-old Mizzy dreams of being a detective, and she won't let anything stand in her way, not her reputation for tall tales or her embarrassing fear of escalators, and definitely not her Down syndrome. Dumped for the summer with cousins who've outgrown her, Mizzy feels even more sidelined than usual. But when she discovers her great-aunt Jane's diaries, she realizes her aunt may have died under suspicious circumstances and not just in her sleep. It also looks like someone in the family may have been involved. Under the guise of a school project, Mizzy grabs the chance to prove to herself, to her family, and to the world that she can solve mysteries just like Sherlock Holmes. We also have the Mizzy Mysteries bookmarks that are available upon request. Email Sam if you'd like any.
Thanks, Serena. Moving on from a debut author, we have one of our most prolific creators, David A. Robertson, who wrapped up his Narnia-inspired middle grade series, The Misthiwa Saga, in August with the explosive conclusion, The World's End. Picking up where the previous book, The Sleeping Giant, left off, we rejoin Eli, Morgan, and Emily in Aski while the battle between the humans, animal beings, and bird warriors rages on. Meanwhile, Eli is fighting a personal battle as he comes to terms with his newly uncovered heritage and the powers that come along with it, especially if it means he's the one who can protect Misthiwa against the dangers of colonization forever. The World's End will keep you on the edge of your seat and is a must-read for anyone who loved the rest of the series. With all 6 books now available with beautiful matching covers, the Misthiwa Saga not only looks great on a shelf, but also provides middle grade readers with a complete adventure, perfect for fans of impossible creatures and other portal fantasies who are looking for their next binge read. In addition to being a critically acclaimed author, David A. Robertson is also the editorial director of Tundra's upcoming Swiftwater imprint, which focuses on stories by Indigenous creators, so you'll definitely be hearing his name more often in the next few years. We have a postcard set featuring each cover for the Misthiwa Saga available for giveaway. They make great prompts for writing workshops and activities. Please email me if you'd like some.
Next is a collection of letters edited by Stephanie and Sarah Sinclair with writings from 40 Indigenous writers, artists, activists, athletes, scholars, and thinkers with a joint purpose: to celebrate the potential of young people to share a sense of joy and pride in language, traditional and personal stories and teachings, and shared experiences, and to honor young people for who they are and what they dream of. You Were Made for This World is a joyful, proud, and groundbreaking collection for young people that brings together celebrated Indigenous voices from across Turtle Island and includes contributions from activist Autumn Peltier, singer-songwriter Tanya Tagaq, hockey player Ethan Bear, Governor General's award-winning author David A. Robertson, artist Chief Ladybird and Christy Belcourt, illustrator Mangeshikpawis Steckley, and more. This beautifully collaborative collection urges readers to think about who they are, where they come from, and where they're going, with a warm familiarity that will inspire you to see yourself and your community with proud eyes. We also have art cards available upon request. Email Sam if you'd like any.
This one's for all the cat lovers out there. When Fiona wanders into an abandoned mansion near the harbor, she discovers a house full of stray cats. Having recently lost her parents and struggling to adapt to her new life, Fiona can't help but relate to her new feline friends, especially when the mansion is threatened by a demolition team. But the cats have their own priorities, and they, along with Fiona, make plans to stop the city from destroying their home. With a plucky heroine determined to make things better, multiple perspectives, including some very opinionated cats, and themes of gentrification, justice, and fairness, The City of Lost Cats will appeal to fans of anthropomorphic animal stories like Pax, I, Cosmo, and Crenshaw. Tanya Lloyd-Kai is a wonderful middle grade author with a strong backlist, including Emily Post's, Me and Banksy, and my personal favorite, Maya's Strategy to Save the World, all featuring strong female protagonists who take it upon themselves to change the world when everyone else fails them.
Next is a middle grade set in the 1960s at a summer camp. The Mystery of the Haunted Dance Hall is a spooky, atmospheric middle grade story for fans of classic ghost stories, unlikely friendships, and intriguing mysteries. B's mom has a job in New York City for the summer, so B is sent to summer camp, and she's not excited about it. Being around other people is hard for her, plus she knows nothing about camping. But then Zippy comes on the scene, and they start to experience mysterious behavior going on at the camp. The older girls from the Hawks cabin are sneaking out to do something. Zippy and B are on the case as they try to figure out what the Hawks are up to. Charisse Cotter is the acclaimed author of other spooky middle grade titles, including The Swallow, The Painting, The Ghost Road, and The Dollhouse.
What kid wouldn't want to work in a joke shop? 12-year-old Manya, for one. While her parents run Pranks a Million, she's more interested in the science behind pranks rather than using them on other people. But when the trick spot at Pranks a Million starts seriously harming customers, and a whoopee cushion even kills an innocent person, Manya's parents are arrested, and it's up to her to prove their innocence using her background in science. On the surface, Death by Whoopee Cushion is a fun mystery based around a joke shop, but it also includes a lot of STEAM content as Manya explores and explains the science behind her parents' pranks. Young readers will be drawn to the dramatic mystery, while educators and gatekeepers will appreciate the subtle educational slant. Vicki Grant is an award-winning author and television scriptwriter whose previous middle grade with Tundra, A Green Velvet Secret, was well received. She really captures the middle grade voice and easily keeps young readers entertained even while writing about death.
It isn't bad enough that Willis has to live with his cold Uncle Todd in a dusty old house of used books. He can't even spend time with his friend Harrison in Galaxy because of the nasty after-school jobs his uncle makes him take on. But then his uncle asks him to visit an old widow lady living in the mansion on the hill, Mrs. Shorthouse. To Willis's surprise, he likes Mrs. Shorthouse and enjoys reading books with her, like Little Women and Great Expectations. One day, Willis takes a rowboat ride and discovers an abandoned island/town from the 1950s, populated by square-headed robots. Then Willis turns on the electricity, and the robots of Robot Island come to life. Is there a connection between Mrs. Shorthouse and the Robot Island? Will the robots turn out to be friends or enemies? This is a new middle grade novel written by acclaimed writer Carrie Fagan and will be enjoyed by fans of the movie Wild Robot. Bookmarks for Robot Island are available upon request. Email Sam if you'd like any.
How to Talk to Your Succulent is one of my favorite graphic novels, perfect for fans of The Witches of Brooklyn and Raina Telgemeier. After her mom passes away, Adara and her dad move from California to Michigan to be closer to her grandmother. It's always been hard for Adara to talk to Dad, so she finds herself confiding in her new little succulent Pearl. And suddenly, Pearl responds. Adara discovers that, like her mother, she has the ability to talk to plants, and things start looking up. But Adara and Pearl both struggle to adapt to their new environment, and neither of them know how to ask for the help they need. With a touch of magic, this debut middle-grade graphic novel explores loneliness, mental health, and empathy, and shows how communication, openness, and a willingness to listen can help you navigate big feelings. I don't know anyone who's managed to get all the way through Zoe Persico's heartfelt graphic novel without crying at least once, and I highly encourage you to pick it up to see for yourself. It's available in both hardcover and paperback. Zoe's art is so sweet, we made sticker sheets featuring all the houseplants, including Pearl, for you to take home. Please email me if you'd like some.
What happens when you pick up a pencil? How do you talk to yourself about drawing while you're drawing? Where do your scribbles start, and where do they lead? Are you ready to find out? With acclaimed art and editorial director of Illustoria and author-illustrator Elizabeth Heidel as your guide through the world of art, Drawing Is is an essential and captivating guide to drawing, brimming with artful exercises and perfect for anyone seeking creative adventure. If you've ever picked up a pencil, drawn, stopped drawing, started again, doodled without purpose, sketched with intention, been disappointed with your art and thrown it away, yet turned the page to try a new experiment, this book is for you. All you need is a drawing surface, a drawing tool, a dot, and a line. Whatever your skill level, you're invited to draw along. Bookmarks for Drawing Is are available upon request. Email Sam if you'd like any.
Before we wrap up, I wanted to quickly highlight some of our middle grade titles that are new in paperback. Benji Zeb as a Ravenous Werewolf covers topics like Judaism, queer romance, anxiety, and racism, all told from the point of view of a middle schooler who also happens to be a werewolf. Tig is about a young girl who is sent to live with her uncles after her mother abandons her and decides to focus her extra energy and anger on learning how to roll cheese down a hill. Team Park follows Evan Park, who is the opposite of an athlete, as he and his family compete in an obstacle race that plays to their different strengths and opens up communication between Evan and his hard-to-please dad. And of course, The Sleeping Giant, the 5th book in the Misuwa saga, was released just in time for fans to pick up the 6th and final book in August. We'd love to stay in touch and talk more about all of Tundra's books this year. Please feel free to reach out to us via email or on social media. Thanks for listening, and thanks Booklist for hosting this webinar.
Thank you, Sam and Serena. And now we'll hear from Jeffrey Lapid. Jeffrey is a publishing professional with over 10 years of experience working with comic books, graphic novels, and children's picture books. Take it away, Jeffrey.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Thanks, Julia. My name is Jeffrey Lapid. I'm the Associate Sales Manager for Mad Cave Studios and our imprints Maverick, Nakama Press, and Papercutz. Today, I'm going to be focusing on our middle grade graphic novel imprint Papercutz, and I'll be walking you through some of our upcoming middle grade releases. All of the titles I'll be talking about today fit in the 7 to 12 age range. If you'd like any more information on these or any of our other titles, you can email me or visit us online at madcavestudios.com and papercutz.com. So let's get into it. Next slide, please. Our first book is Hero Bear and the Kid, Volume 1 by Mike Kunkel. After his grandfather passes away, 10-year-old Tyler inherits an old stuffed toy bear and a broken pocket watch. If moving to a new town and dealing with bullies wasn't enough, he soon learns that things aren't always what they seem, and that you shouldn't judge a bear by its cover. Next slide, please. Two-time Eisner Award winner Mike Kunkel brings his hit series Hero Bear and the Kid to Papercutz. Hero Bear and the Kid is a touching and uplifting childhood adventure story filled with action, humor, and heart. Next slide, please. Creator Mike Kunkel's animated and expressive art style keeps things lively and fun as Tyler and Hero Bear together learn that heroes can be found in the most unexpected places. Next slide, please. Volume 1 is a completely remastered version of Mike Kunkel's original self-published Hero Bear comics. It's a wonderful self-contained story that sets the stage for the rest of this 4-volume series. So Volume 2 through 4 are going to be all new. Next slide, please. And Volume 2 will be coming out on March 10th of 2026. Volume 2 of Hero Bear and the Kid will be on sale in March, and it kicks off a multi-part adventure through the very fabric of time and space as Tyler and Hero Bear set off to uncover the secret of Tyler's family heritage. So that's Hero Bear and the Kid. Next slide, please. Up next is 10-Ton Titan Terrier. It's a title that's a heartwarming sci-fi adventure about a boy and his dog and a 10-ton mecha built for over-the-top monster battling action. When an asteroid unleashes a horde of alien monsters known as Biotitans, Earth must turn to a suit of extraterrestrial battle armor to save the day. But there's just one catch, because the only creature on the planet capable of turning it on is an 11-inch tall terrier named Holly. Next slide, please. With the Biotitan threat escalating by the second, Holly and her scientist owner Sam will find their unique bond tested as he trains his mischievous mutt to become not just man's best friend, but humanity's only hope. Next slide, please. Writer David Pepos is a Ringo Award-winning writer known for Savage Avengers, Space Ghost, Speed Racer, and The Devil That Wears My Face. If you couldn't tell by now, 10-Ton Titan Terrier is his first all-ages title, and he's dedicated it to his real-life terrier, Holly, the inspiration for the 10-Ton Titan Terrier herself. It's perfect for fans of Pacific Rim, Power Rangers, Pokemon, and Transformers. Next slide, please. Artist Ornella Greco manages a nice balance between the power-packed punches of mecha versus kaiju action and the cuteness overload of seeing a tiny, fearless terrier yapping at a skyscraper-sized alien monster. Next slide, please. Oops, went too far there. Backslide, can we go back? Oh, thanks. Beyond the high-stakes kaiju fights and the incredible amounts of property damage, 10-Ton Titan Terrier is at its core a sweet and funny story about the love shared between a boy and his dog. Next slide. Okay, The Witches of Pepperwood Bay is our next title. Tropical magic and mystery are everywhere in this cozy middle-grade graphic novel about 3 witchy sisters who keep watch over their island home in an enchanted lighthouse. Next slide, please. The popular webcomic is collected in this first volume of The Witches of Pepperwood Bay. This new edition features an all-new artwork and reworked dialogue, as well as some new enchanting developments that will delight old and new readers alike. Next slide. The Witches of Pepperwood Bay is a cozy fantasy mystery series set on a mythical island inspired by Lisa Manazook Wiley's hometown in Hawaii. Juniper, Lily, and Clover are 3 sisters who are caretakers of the magic lighthouse portal that overlooks Pepperwood Bay. When they're not practicing witchcraft, they're helping out their fellow islanders by solving the town's mysteries and keeping things peaceful with the local mythical creatures. Next slide, please. Fans of Witches of Brooklyn and Mooncakes will love the relaxed, witchy tropical vibe, the jewel-toned aesthetic, and the celebration of the magic of sisterhood in The Witches of Pepperwood Bay. Next slide, please. Okay, we've got a couple of titles here coming up from our new series, The Secret Steam Society. The very first book is called The Secret Steam Society Science of Horses. It'll be out in February of 2026. The Secret Steam Society is made up of a group of students from different grades that come together with their good friend Toot, who is an exchange student from another planet, to learn, teach, and understand the world and the universe around us. In this first venture, the students explore the majestic world of horses and go on the ride of a lifetime. Next slide, please. This is a brand new series focusing on different subject with every volume. Each subject falls under the banner of science, technology, engineering, art, or mathematics. Next slide. This volume focuses on the biology, genetics, and evolution of horses. Next slide. It has been fact-checked with a foreword by Dr. Carrie A. Williams, professor and equine extension specialist at Rutgers, the State University of New Jersey. Next slide. And the next volume is The Secret Steam Society Science of Music. In this second adventure, the students explore the science of music, from how our vocal cords and ears work to how sound waves can affect the brain and how instruments are built. This is a must-have for any young music lover. From human biology and understanding vocal cords and eardrums to bats and sonar and how digital music is produced, this adventure explores the amazing world of music and how it affects our brains, inspires us, and creates the soundtrack to our lives. Similar to the previous volume, this volume will be fact-checked and will have a foreword by Associate Professor Albert Lee, Associate Dean for Student Life and Community Engagement at the Yale School of Music. All of our Secret Steam Society books will be leveled, and we'll also have free classroom materials that will be made available to educators on our Papercutz website. Next slide, please. Up next is Punk Taco Adventures by Adam, McKenna, and Coella Walenta. Punk Taco and his band of misfits rock out across the universe, spreading peace and love through music while helping those in need, making friends, and always trying to do the right thing against impossible odds. This is great for fans of Investigators and the Hilda graphic novel series. Next slide, please. This series was created by one of our Mad Cave editors, Adam Walenta, and he created it with his sons McKenna and Keola. Adam is a Ringo and Kids Comic Award winner. Next slide, please. Punk Taco Adventures features fun, colorful stories that center on themes of empathy, compassion, friendship, and doing the right thing. Next slide. Punk Taco Adventures collects all the original content from Punk Taco Volume 1's independent release, plus 2 brand new bonus stories that will see Punk Taco experiencing big feelings and sharing his love for art with his friend Bash. It also features art by McKenna Walenta, Scott Chandler, Rich Koslowski, DJ JS1, Chuck D from Public Enemy, Mike Cavallaro, Art Baltazar, Franco, and many more, as well as art from a bunch of 4th through 9th grade art students that Adam Walenta had mentored while he was a teacher in Connecticut. Next slide, please. And our last title here is The New Adventures of Zootopia 2, Better Zoogether. After solving Zootopia's biggest mystery, ZPD officers Hops and Wild are ready to make the world an even better place. Next slide, please. Whether they're dealing with delicious exploding packages or a suspicious foundling, Judy and Nick realize that not every case is huge, but they are all important. Next slide, please. You may not have seen too much about this title yet because it was a late add to our schedule, but I'm pretty sure you've all probably heard of Zootopia. The first Zootopia movie grossed $1 billion worldwide, and it won the Academy Award for Best Animated Feature. Next slide, please. So the new Adventures of Zootopia will be released in October, and the movie Zootopia 2 will be in theaters in November. So it's going to be some good timing to stock up on Zootopia stuff just in time for the movie. Next slide, please. And that's all for me today. So again, if you'd like more information on any of these books, you can visit us online at papercutz.com, or you can email me directly at glapid@madcavestudios.com with any questions or requests for sample PDFs of these or any of our other books. So thank you very much for your time. Thanks to the folks at Booklist and my fellow presenters. Yeah, thanks for listening. Have a good day.
Thank you, Jeffrey. And now we'll hear from Ellen Myrick. Ellen began Publisher Spotlight 15 years ago to promote and market independent and international children's books. She recently co-chaired the IBI Regional Conference in Nashville and has presented at ALA, ABA, and regional conferences. You can catch her on kidlit.tv with Rocco Staino for seasonal showcases featuring the highlights from 20+ publishers. Follow at Pub Spotlight on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Pinterest for more diverse, inclusive, and beautiful books from around the world for children and teens. Ellen is going to present a few titles, and then we'll introduce our special guest, Meg Grahan. Thanks for being here, Ellen.
Thank you so much, Julia. And let's get started, shall we? Our first book that we have up is Stitchhead. So thank you, Jeffrey, for that great lead-in to talk about books that are coming out as movies, because Stitchhead, there goes the lead. I just gave it away. Stitchhead is coming to theaters near you on October 29th. Now, this is a chapter book series, next slide, that covers this wonderful little guy who is created by Dr. Erasmus, who is a bit forgetful, and he does not realize that he has left all these creations off to the side as he goes on to the next new thing. You know those kids who just can't seem to focus and always move on to the new thing? Well, that's Dr. Erasmus, and Stitchhead is a very caring little Frankenstein kind of monster, and he takes care of all these forgotten creations and is able to unite them, take care of them, and help them save the day. This is an illustrated chapter book series. There's 6 in the series from Guy Bass, and it's now available as a graphic novel from Random House. So you can consume Stitchhead in any way you want, whether you want to have the chapter book series with all these fantastic illustrations, the graphic novel, or the movie coming up soon, October 29th. And I think that Zootopia is what it's going to be featured with in the trailer. So how is that for serendipity? Moving on to our next title, we have Alcrem. Now, this is from Red Comet Press. You may remember Mist, also by Marta Paradezzi, and that was a book that was a winner of the Ragazzi Prize at Bologna. She is an Italian. This was translated, and boy, is she good at world building. So if you have those kids who say, I loved Impossible Creatures, I love Percy Jackson, well, this is a great place to send them to, because she is so detailed and creative and interested in creating these interesting magic, this ingenious world that she's done, the engaging protagonists, complicated villains, and non-stop action. So Theo learns on his 13th birthday he's expecting this cute little animal creature to be his companion through life, because he was born to be an alchemist, which are the people who, really run this society. But it turns out he's not. Instead of giving this fuzzy creature, he's given this warrior creature. Instead, it turns out he's an Alcrim who have been persecuted, and he has to figure out a way to reclaim the huge power, magical power of this special potion to save his adoptive father. So beautiful. It is on NetGalley. If you want to read it, you can request it right now. And it is just an amazing, fast-paced page turner that is guaranteed to keep kids reading. Next up, we have from Pajama Press, How to Save a Library. We all need to read this book, right? So this is from Colleen Nelson, who wrote the Undercover Booklist and The Umbrella House. And in this one, we have a kid who's moved around a lot. He's been to 10 different schools in his lifetime. He is 13. He's in middle school, and he's good at soccer, so that has found him a friend group. And then he's got this really good special friend who loves to read with him. And there's a little bit of a misunderstanding they have to work through, but they find out that his dad, who's a librarian, might I add, is working at the library, and that the library is in danger of being shut down because it needs a $25,000 repair. It's a Carnegie library, so those are beautiful buildings, but they're old and they need constant attention. So they want to raise money to save the library, so they find out about this contest for the Kids Community Action Network, and they band together. He starts a soccer clinic. Other kids do bake sales. They do other creative things to raise money. And at the end of the day, spoiler alert, the library is saved. Yay! And it's also a great action model for kids taking action in their communities and saying that they too have empowerment. I think it was Colette who said the best cure for despair is action. So there we go with that. And next up we have Seabird, also from Pajama Press. This is by Michelle Cutter-Roosman, who is such a beautiful writer. And this one is historical fiction about Indonesia. So Michelle grew up in Tasmania in Indonesia. Her father was Indonesian. And she'd heard the story about Kartini her whole life and was fascinated with this noble woman who really wanted to break through the bonds that bound her, because in 19th century, actually it was owned by the Dutch East Indies. It was a Dutch East Indies at that time. The royal people, the Javanese royal family, was basically when kids turned 13, when girls turned 13, they were just put away until they were ready to get married. And she was not about that. And she wrote all these letters to her best friend in Holland. And those are the original materials that were used for this book. And it is just so beautifully written. And I think that it also travels really well with Golden Necklace that we heard about earlier from Matali Perkins. So it's about education and empowering girls through education. In this case, this is a really important story. And Booklist said about this one, Cutter-Roosman reimagines a story of the past not often told, allowing Kartini's voice and message to fill a void in the present. So thank you for that, Booklist. Next up, we have Auntie Christina's Guide to Asian American Activism. Now, if you haven't heard of Auntie Christina, I am so glad to introduce you to her because she is amazing. She is a performance artist. She is a Pulitzer Prize nominated playwright. She is a comic. She does so many different things, and she's also the founder of the let me make sure I've got it right, Radical Cram School. So this is a place where kids can learn, and this is created for Asian Americans, but we can all learn these lessons about how to turn active into activist, and how to get kids to use the talents they have to really make things change in the communities where they live. So it's about exploring identities, social justice, and ideas through puppets, stories, and comedy. She takes all the things she's learned through there and all the people who help her with the Radical Cram School and puts it into this one book. This is coming out in next year, but I did want to give a little highlight to it here. She is such an amazing person, and I think that we can all learn from Auntie Christina. So, follow her in all the places because you will not be disappointed. It is one of those things that once you start watching, you cannot stop. So check out Radical Cram and look forward to Auntie Christina coming to us from Beaming Books. So next up, we have The Big Book of Pie. No, this is not the pie you eat. This is the 3.14, etc. pie. Next up, let's have the next slide. So this is everything about pie. This is a book that was written by a well-known nonfiction author, but also a math magician. And yes, I said that right, not a mathematician, a math magician. And then illustrated by this really, really highly regarded graphic novel artist from Slovenia. So this is truly an international project because it's from a Swiss publisher, a French math magician, an author from England, and a Slovenian illustrator. But did you know that every different culture around the world came to pie in its own way, to the discovery of what pie is? So it's the history of pie, It's what you can do with pie. It is everything about pie. I am not a math person. But I can say right here that this was a fascinating read. This is coming to us in February, so you can have it well before Pi Day. So you can you can create all your celebrations for Pi around this book. And one of my favorite little things about this book, there's so many little cool things about it, is that the end papers have the first 10,000 digits of Pi. So there you go. That is Pi, the Big Book of Pi. It's in graphic nonfiction coming to us from Helvetique. Next up, we have Everything Amplified, which is a book coming next year. This is by Sarah Lippett and Ziggy Hanoor from Cicada Books based in the UK. And this is a graphic novel about twins who are they're in the early stages of high school. And, you know, the Ludo is popular and confident and everything seems to go his way. His sister Nell just seems to really be struggling with school, with all the pressures, with just figuring out who she is. So this is a book about identity and also about figuring out what you're good at and what things give you joy. And it is, I should also mention Sarah Lippincott. She actually won the Quentin Blake Prize for her very first graphic novel, which was called Stan and Nan. Ziggy Hanoor, who did this, she wrote Altazaken, which was won lots of different awards, and also was a Carnegie finalist for The Egg Incident. So these are twins navigating high school. It's about the power of the playlist. So if you have kids who really love Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist, then you know what? This is a perfect read for them. And if you want to check this out, please email me, ellen@publisherspotlight.com, and we will send you a NetGalley widget as soon as it's available. And you can check out Everything Amplified for yourself. And next up, the thing you've all been waiting for is our interview with Meg Rehan. So Meg, welcome. We're so glad you joined us here from Donegal, Ireland. So yeah.
Hi, how are you? Thank
Here
you for
she
having
is.
me. I'm here. I'm here.
You're here. So thank you so much for joining us and tell us a little bit about The Brightest Star, would you please?
Of course. So, The Brightest Star is the follow-up to my second book, which was called The Deepest Breath. It's a follow-up and not exactly a sequel, so you don't have to read the first one. And I'll give you the spoilers anyway, so you'll be grand. But the so The Deepest Breath followed Stevie, who's an 11-year-old girl who wants to know everything there is to know in the world because she thinks it'll help her be less scared. And if anything happens, she'll know what to do and she can be the hero. But she doesn't know what the fizzy feeling in her stomach is when she looks at her friend Chloe. So you can probably guess what it is. So when we come to The Brightest Star, Stevie, Chloe, and their friend Andrew are starting secondary school, which I guess is middle school, is it? Yeah.
Well, it's middle and high school. It depends on how you look at it, but
Okay.
sure. Yes.
Yeah, they're 12. So but so it's a big moment of transition and they learn that their school has a rainbow club and suddenly Andrew, who has always been the most wonderful, supportive, brilliant friend, goes quiet and vanishes a little bit and they don't know why. So it's very much about coming into yourself, figuring yourself out. In this one, Stevie and Chloe know they like each other. Spoilers. So it was really fun to just show a crush, just a little queer crush. It was really lovely. But yeah, that's The Brightest Star.
Well, Deepest Breath was a Main Street Best Book of the Year. I was an editor's choice for Booklist, and we expect great things from this. Now, I have to show the interior of the book a little bit because this is a novel in verse. So tell us a little bit about writing novels in verse and why this is your chosen format.
It's my chosen format quite selfishly. My first book was about a girl with agoraphobia. So she was so anxious she couldn't leave her house. And while it's not directly about me, I was also a girl with agoraphobia. So I couldn't leave my house and my life was just so quiet. And I was writing this book to give myself somewhere to go. And when I tried to write it in prose, it seemed really inauthentic because life didn't have that many words in it. And then I just fell in love with verse. I think it's so beautiful and accessible. And so many readers tell me how much easier it is for them if they're reluctant readers or they have reading difficulties. And that means the world to me. I think there's also a hint of being Irish. We're very sing-songy. we're quite lilty and we like our poetry. So I think, yeah, there's a couple things, but it's just the perfect way to write for me. I journal in verse, like it's the way my brain works.
It's amazing. It's amazing. So I know that you've talked to lots of kids about your books. Is there something that one has said or I know it's hard to find one, but is there something that when I said that you'd like to share with us here?
Mostly, I get messages from kids saying, "Oh, this helped me realize that I'm queer and it helped me tell people." And that's obviously like the most beautiful thing ever. I get a lot of messages from adults saying that it helped them heal their inner child, which I think is the most beautiful, gorgeous thing you can say to anyone ever. So that makes me cry every time. But my favorite was about the first book, actually. It's a YA book and it's about mental health and loneliness. And a little 10-year-old came up to me one time and went, "Do you think Beth needed Alice as much as Alice needed Beth?" In this really like deep, beautiful way. And I was like, I've never thought about it, but yeah, you're right. And it just reminded me and showed me and proved to me how brilliant kids are. So like young readers are just, oh my God, they're ahead of us all the time, I think. I think we're trying to catch up to them. And that's all I try to do when I write them books is just try to reach their level. So yeah, that was a big one for me.
Well, young readers, oh my God, that's a great place to end. So thank you so much for joining us, Meg. I can't remember what time it is there, but I know it's later. And thanks everybody for coming, and I apologize for going a little bit over.
All right.
Thank you so much, Ellen and Meg, and a huge thanks to all of today's wonderful panelists. Tomorrow, all attendees will receive an email containing links to today's video recording, slide presentation, title list, and a certificate of completion. For more about Booklist webinars, be sure to visit booklistonline.com/webinars, where you can view archives of past webinars and register for upcoming ones, like those you see here. You can also find out about our latest webinars on our social channels. Visit us on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and now Blue Sky. Booklist 2025 Guide to Graphic Novels in Libraries is here. This year's special issue features articles on how to combat self-censorship, graphic memoirs for teens, readers' advisory tips, cat manga, and so much more. The digital issue is free and open to everyone on the Booklist website. Head over to start reading now. Thank you for joining us for today's webinar. A huge thank you to our panelists and to our sponsors, Disney Publishing, Charlesbridge Publishing, Tundra Books, Publisher Spotlight, and Papercutz. This concludes today's webinar. See you next time.